Thank you. Oh, that's much better. Okay. Just remind you, if you're not eating, please put on your mask. We're still masking and taking care of others. And I'm still using a substitute jelly. I'm just 2 months here. It's getting very old. Yes, I have to wait for Christmas. Oh my God. Okay, Wayne Britton has the pledge today.
Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And listen, we have a song.
All right.
You may have to do this one.
Done.
Okay?
Okay, so I'm going to be doing a song workshop about musical modes in October. So no rush, but I thought we would do Don't Drink and Me. Okay. So a deer, a female deer, red, a drop of gold, your name, I call myself, Bob, make you run. So a beautiful reflection. Love, I know to follow so tea, I drink a drum and everyone loves back to go.
I want to just say thank you for the setup, and we will have thank you very much. And remind you that before you leave, please, if you have time, hang around and help us take it down again. Thank you. And the thought for the day, William, where are you? Looks like we're on one mic.
Is it muted?
All right. This is so everybody can think about today I brought an advice from the glacier. Carve your own path, go slow, channel your strengths, smooth the way for others, keep moving forward, avoid meltdowns, be cool.
That's great. Okay, well, our reader, looks like our reader wasn't here, but I did speak to our reader. Thank you very much. And Doc again is going to be handling our raffle. And well, we have don't have him good enough. We have Rhonda for our night runner today. Thank you.
He's back.
Can you hear anything, Judy?
And so I want to welcome our visitors.
So I have a guest today. His name is Greg Alexander. We don't need to leave high school. He's originally from Santa Rosa area. And welcome, Greg. And I hope you have a good year.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. And again, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to working with you and partnering with you.
It's my pleasure to welcome back to our club, a former member of the club, and president of the Hillsborough Morning Club, our friend George Sutton.
Let me introduce Josh Leon, who is our speaker today from Watch Beauty, which is a very interesting app.
And wonderful exchange student. Hey, man.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Good to see some of you all again. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And I think I see one more guest over there sitting with Henry. Are you still a guest?
I'm Mary, I'm a guest, and I'm considering becoming a member.
We'd love to have you. Thank you, Mary. Okay. All right, time to you all. And, did we, the people go on today? Not today? Okay, we'll move on from that then. Look, Debbie from. What? Yeah, you better tell us about that. What's going on?
Yeah, so this was last week in Houston. Debbie helped the company a lot on the marketing front. And just coordinated meeting up and we had dinner and he hooked me up with one of the University of Houston professors. It was great. We walked it out. She decided to rent for a year, which was super smart before buying a place. And it's in a place called the Woodland, a nice walk area where you can walk to the mini store. And it's really nice. It's like, so kind of like a great, way far away from great, from Houston, yeah. Anyway, good time to hear.
That's great. Congratulations. I'm glad you got together. She's helping you with marketing.
Yeah.
She is terrific. All right, there was a great Armstrong Wood tonight to Sarah and David and Susan. David, would you like to say a few words and
Yeah, this was from Saturday where we went to Ampton Woods. I've never been, so that was a really great experience. Really big trees. It was really beautiful, really lovely. And I got to see a little bit more of Greenville, which is where I will be living with my next door family. So that was really nice to see. And I got a little bit more of my jacket, which I got really excited for.
I understand you do a little bit all
Yeah, I went to a football game Friday, which annually won, so that was really good. That was really exciting to see. Probably one of the most American experiences I've ever had. But it was really fun and really great, and to see all my friends be there. Yeah.
Imagine it was quite different in a football game you see at home.
Yeah, it's different from football games at home because we don't have football really.
You have soccer, I thought.
Yeah, we have soccer, so that's probably what I'm most used to. So I didn't really know what was going on, but people were really nice about explaining to me what all the lines and all the things meant. But yeah, it was a great experience for sure. And I think I might be going to the one on Friday too, where we're playing at home.
Great, thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, Vincent, you mentioned this, I saw you had made a slide up for it, singing and musical rainbow. Do you have anything more to say about that?
Sure, imagine if we didn't know the names of the colors of the rainbow. And I think it's like that with music. There's a certain set, like the white notes on the piano, you can start from any note. And we get moods out of that. And we all know them, because if you heard a melody that wasn't using one of those, you'd say, oh, that's weird, or that's wrong, you know? So it's also, we use a lot of the same modes we use in India, and Instead of indie music, and when I picked up the piano, so I realized you can only play Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme from one place. And I started to learn about this, and this is a workshop where we're going to slowly sing scales and just get familiar with these things.
Okay, thank you. And I did enjoy our song today. That was a nice thing. All right, Ron, Hampton, and David presented the Lions District Conference Saturday. They are jumping into health. David, would you like to say a few words about that?
Yeah, this Saturday at the Lions District Conference, John and I did present about the Ukrainian family currently living in Rohnert Park. They had a preview of that, having seen the flyer, and it was amazing. It actually brought me to tears, which is easy to do. But they were very generous. They are going to help with fundraising and help to support not only this family, but at this point, I've found 5 households in our area that are Ukrainian, and some are in need of support, some are not, and we're networking them so they can interact.
Great. The main event is coming, and we have a speaker about that.
Yes. Yes, you do. So, as we all know, I know, as we all know, there's a fundraiser coming up. So I put on all the tables enough for everybody to go to over there. 2 sheets. One is a description of the items we have to date, and we have some pretty interesting items on there. And a form that we're using to go out and find a couple more good live auction items. What that means is something that you really like to do, or something that you never get to do but would love to do. We sell a lot of dinners at people's homes, and we have a dinner at Lagar in the package. Sport packages, if you're not a sports fan, you have friends who are. So sets of 2 tickets to Giants game or 49ers or God forbid the Warriors. And the A's, we can go to Vegas to see the A's. But packages of things that we can put together and create, or individuals that we can create a much bigger package. We're close to just a month out. I guess we're about 5 weeks out right now from this thing. We have 12 items that are confirmed. We'd like to get that to 15. In order to get it to 15, we need to have 5 ideas. So what I'm asking in the next day or so is to look at that, think about what maybe what you've seen in the past, or what you think this might be really cool to go do, and get that to myself or to Michael. And then we may call you back and ask for some help in putting this thing together. But this is a real team effort, and we're, as you've noticed through the pandemic, we struggled a little bit, and so more of us are going to have to pull a little more weight to pull this thing off. Michael has pulled an immense amount of weight up till now, and with Gene's injury, it's slowed him down a little bit, but he's still very active in this thing. But we have a really good chance to reestablish ourselves in this community as a fundraiser and putting more money back into this event. So I would ask everyone to please take a hard look at this, consider the role you can play and how you can help us with it. And don't forget the event itself, which is October 8th, is an all hands on deck event. So every member, anyone that we can grab to help out, we have to set up, we have to tear down, we have to serve everything. So I know we're putting that online fairly soon, but it's really important, and we're all going to work properly 2 or 3 different skills as it's synced up together. So that's all. It is moving. It's moving along. It sounds like it's going to be a great event. Michael, you have anything to say?
Yeah, it's that the ticket sales are actually going very, very well at this point. I'm really pleased. We sold about 70 or 80 tickets. Many of those are in the form of tables. So if you know people that would be interested in buying a table of 10, It's just 10 tickets, $1,250. It's important that you keep track of our ticket sales. I'm actually a little fearful we're gonna sell out. That's a good thing, but let's keep track of how many tickets we sell and turn your money into Jerry. So Jerry can keep the count going, because I don't want to oversell this event. And we have a lot of tickets out there at the moment. So they're available online. They're available for purchase by you and by your friends. So let's do it. Thanks. Kathy.
I just want to thank Brian Purcell for the Ladar auction item. I think that's like really terrific, Brian. Thank you. And I was talking with some people that went to Guys Can Cook, and someone there bought an item. It was a kayak tour from with a scientist as part of the kayak, and they told it was about watching the birds and the wildlife in the area. So if anybody knows of someone that can do a guided kayak tour, I think that would be a really good auction item. He's still talking about it all these years later.
Okay, thank you. And people are bringing home this time. That's good to see too. We need that. Thank you very much. Okay, the Sebastopol Service and Action Coalition meet and greet Saturday the 10th. This is a coalition that David and I have been attending for some time. And we are having a meet and greet of our different clubs. You can see all of their insignias up there. And we're going to be at Ice Park from 12 to 2. And we'll announce this again. It's going to be, you might say, a brown bag, bring your own picnic. We'll have some bowls if you want to make hamburgers or whatever. But just kind of get acquainted with the fellows in the community who are also giving. So keep that one in mind. That sounds like it'll be a fun one. And September 17th, the Rotary Club of Rancho Cucamonga is having their fundraiser and supporting the Ukrainian Refugee and Relief fundraiser. That's another opportunity too, if you want to be there and sell some tickets to our fundraiser. So it would be good to support them and help them support us. Thank you.
If you want to buy tickets, there's 10 in the room.
Great. See, David? Gotcha. Okay, and the Ukrainian Family Fund Concert. That's coming up as well. That's from 2 to 4 at Snyder Park. I didn't put the date down. Yeah, September 24th. There we go. So that's coming up also. And we have I went on this one. My picture isn't there because I didn't make it through yet. But I did a good 4 miles, so I felt pretty good about that. But it was fun. We walked through the Laguna and really enjoyed it. It was good fun. Really liked that one. And do we have any announcements?
A little late notice on this one. The Rotary picnic that we do occasionally with the new club is on the 17th of September and at 2 o'clock, I believe, at Bob Hirsch's place. So anybody, I have a flyer which I will get to you, Diana, and we can get out.
Okay, great. So we will, I look forward to that. Thank you, Michael. Michael, gotcha. Okay, so here we go. September 2nd, first Friday at Go, 5:30. Okay, thank you, Kathy. That's going to be fun. September 5th, community service Zoom meeting at 5:30. September 10th, 12 noon, the, Sonoma, excuse me, Sebastopol Service and Action Committee, we're going to have our picnic at our park. And September 17th, there's going to be the Ukrainian Refugee Relief Fundraiser, September 24th. Ukrainian Family Fund Concert. On October 8th, our Maine Lobster Boil at the Center for the Arts. And then the 16th, we're looking forward to getting together to celebrate Bruce Campbell at Sally's Dominion. So we have quite a packed schedule in front of us. Now, do we have any attitudes of gratitude, contributions to our Rotary Club or to the foundation? David.
Thanks. I want to do a shout out to Linton Hale. Linton Hale was called upon last minute to put together a website for Ukraine, for a fundraiser, and he just picked it up, did it, done. We thought it was a big deal, really hard to do, and it probably is, but Linton did one page, and how many minutes did it take you?
I don't want to say.
It was brilliant, yeah, because, yeah, right, people aren't gonna pay when they find out, yeah. But it was brilliant and so welcome, and everybody was grateful and relieved, and we could move on to making money and supporting our family. So Linton Hale, when you want a website, talk to that man.
How much are you donating for your attitude and gratitude?
I'm not gonna tell you the amount, but it's more than you would. And it will go to the Rotary Foundation, my charity, of course.
Good. Thank you very much. Anyone else? We have. Okay, well, thank you, David. You do so much for our club. And this week, that's next week's program. Okay, that's my mistake. Next week, ignore that. And we will have Highland Impressions. And this week, we have Josh Glenn, which he will come up, and I'm going to switch over to his application. Come on, Josh.
Okay. 6 weeks ago, there was a grass fire out on Robar Road, and we could see the smoke from our house, and we weren't too far away. And I was thinking, how am I gonna, is this something you work on or what? And a friend of ours said, oh, you need this new app called Watch Duty. And so I loaded it up on my phone, and it is absolutely amazing when it comes to fires. And how many of you are using it? Very cool, yeah. So anyway, Watch Duty is a volunteer-run organization, and one of the leaders, but also volunteers, and he's a third generation resident of the river. He's known for reporting on fires once in the rivers actually. And we don't form Watch Duty because it was frustrating as a lack of timely information for critical fire events. He realized that social media was not a good platform for this kind of work. So he found some like-minded people together. They have a platform for tracking wildfire. And so whether out there in the community resource for extreme weather and emergency information, he's an admin with the Russian River Resources Information Facebook page, County Fire Update page as well. He's also the CEO of the
I'm about to bail, Judy.
technology. This
It's just not worth it.
Thumbs not working.
All right, thank you. Okay, it's a small agenda for a good half an hour. I'm hopeful it will show up correctly on this monitor. A little intro of who I am, why I'm doing this, what Watch Duty is, why do we exist,
a little quick case study that kind of emphasizes and shows why we're here, and then where we're going to take this from here. Okay, as I mentioned, born and raised in Gurnville. My son Anthony and I both went to El Molino. I think Mr. Greg here, Anthony's favorite teacher, talks about him all the time. And even after I went to back to school night, I said this is the one class I will come to back to school for. So I made a lasting impression on him. Wow. So I tracked flooding is all the rage. So we tracked that for years from the 86 flood on when I was just that high. I'm terrified of wildfire and snakes, which means living in Gurnville is a horrible place to live. And so I had to do this. I had to do this to overcome my own fears. I live about a mile from Armstrong Woods, 3 feet from the Wallwood fire line, saved by Cal Fire in the last day. And then I have far too many other jobs that I have to do. So Washington is one of many things that you have accessible to you in the county of Sonoma. I work very closely with Sam Wallace, who's the OES director, mainly because we came on the scene and the county couldn't really afford everyone here. But I'm quick to point out that we have a state-of-the-art Office of Emergency Services here now. A lot has been learned and grown since 2017. These tools on the left by the county are they're kind of official. This is what you need to know to evac. These are different tools we have access to, and then we have access to a lot of different apps over here on the right. Washington being one, Point. There's this beautiful alert wildfire camera network all throughout the western part of the United States. I think we have something like 1,000 cameras in California alone on the peaks of our hills, keeping tabs of things. And we have access to stuff like flight radars. You can listen to scanners and then the horrible social media to get your updates. I will say Sam may show up here. He was really aggressive on this NOAA weather radios because he has access as part of OES to actually communicate to those radios when all else fails. When there's no power, there's no internet, he can get evacuation information out of these. So the county has a very aggressive program to getting these radios in front of you. And hopefully he'll show up right at the end and we can talk to you a little bit about that.
They can't hear.
Okay. So what is Washington? We are a nonprofit 501(c) organization. Application built over your smartphone, or it is accessible off of computers and laptops. And it's designed to send you notifications when wildfires occur that you need to care about or that you should pay attention to. It's not going to dispatch every single fire in the county. 90% of the dispatched fires in Sonoma County end up being barbecues. You don't need to know what care about those. But it is to the point when someone is burning in, usually in an urban area, a city area, but in the wildlands or in the REIT, the wildland urban interface, there could be a potential for damaging to property of people. That's usually when you're going to see things pop up for the railroad road, right, out towards our side is going to be a main area of concern, and maybe out even towards the west, up past those are areas that are consumed for wildland fire that could be impactful to Sebastopol. So we keep an eye on that. You get to which counties you want to monitor. We captured almost no information about you with this application. There is a little GPS dot to know which county you're from, and that is it. We don't know anything about your device. We don't know anything about you, and we don't plan on tracking any of that. Our data about you is not for sale. And we don't want to know anything about it. That's extremely important with privacy laws, and we will take that very seriously. It will always be free, and it will always be ad-free, which is also really important. For a quick walk through of the important parts, when you download this application, you have a little menu item in the top left called the hamburger. From there, you can select which counties you want to get notifications from by default. Wherever you downloaded this from, it will send you notifications for that. If you download this today, it's going to default you to Sonoma County. Do you want updates to all fires that we curate in Sonoma County or just new ones? And it's, I would say for Sebastopol, I would recommend just putting it on new incidents. So that way, when it dings you to see there's a new fire, you can look at it and say, I want to care about this, or I don't want to care about this. And then when you do care about it, you can click on the incident and you can actually get subscribe to notifications for that incident. Otherwise, you're missing stuff from Sonoma, Luna, the river, things of that nature. So we try to really minimize notification fatigue. Right, we're in a day and age where our phones are pinging us every 5 seconds for something. You want to make sure that you get right in the sweet spot where you only get notified when you should actually pay attention. We do have these other types of incidents, which we call monitoring, which get no notifications, but we're tracking it just to make sure. That happens a lot with fires out on the Georgia Trail. Out in Florida and the river, which seems like it's on fire literally every other week. We're going to put that out there in case people see smoke or smell smoke, they can look them up and go, oh, these guys are keeping track of this. And then you can get the details of what we're doing. But we're not going to send out notifications. We have about 150,000 phones in Sonoma County that we send notifications to, and about 350,000 across the state. Quick, this is what the map view looks like. We try to be very, very simple. Here was the fire. This is the size. Once we know what its acreage is, where its location. As we add information to it, it just gets updated in real time. Users have the ability to add photos to them. It really adds some interesting contextual stuff. We have fires up in Lake County. Sometimes we want to get pictures that are good from the alert cameras, or even here in the western part of the county. And sometimes there'll be someone that snaps a picture of it. And that will give us, if you take a picture, your Latin long and an arrow of what you saw. And that builds a story, because all we're trying to do is build a story as a fire progresses. Where did it start? Where is it going? What are people seeing and experiencing? And it's just to provide you more information, right? This is not an official application from the county, and it falls into a spot of the official wasn't enough. And I don't want to sit here and listen to a scanner 24/7. So we wanted to kind of put you right there. In the event evacuation were posted, that information will get replicated here from the county. We're actually going to put the county's evacuation map inside of ours as well, which is very visual, right? When the zone gets evacuated, you'll see it right on the map. For the minimum, we're going to post whatever information they post for evacs. So it's not a tool to replace Mixer, social alerts, 1,000 other ways that the county wants to get in touch with you. The county is afraid that they're only getting 50% of penetration to people, which is terrifying. So we're just trying to cover. If we could add 1% to that, then we're helping, right? So it's not a tool that you're required to use. It's so nice to have. In Sebastopol, I would say this is probably one of the least threatened communities in Sonoma County, which is great. Our community surrounding us, obviously, right? You've been evacuated at least twice, right? From the Wall Bridge and probably the Kincaid. So wildfires are next door. The Tubbs fire moves roughly 11 miles an hour, which is 4x what Cal Fire considers dangerous, speed. That stuff can affect us. So it's just here as another piece. The people that are hearing the content are community members. It was mentioned by the gentleman that I was sitting with Big Sur Kate, one of our reporters out of the Big Sur area, well respected. She found us and said, I could represent this area. You have 4 people in Sonoma County that are dedicated just to Sonoma County that live here. One out in Pula, myself in Greenville, one in Cairns, and one in Monterey. And we have 3 others that will jump in to assist if needed. I can't say that we have that same kind of coverage all over the state. Modoc County, up in the far east, we have 2 people at best. So we're out looking for community members that are passionate about reporting on this, that are willing to sacrifice 24/7 of their lives and provide value. We're governed by a strict code of conduct, very similar to an incident command structure. All of our information has to be heard by someone that's dispatching it. It can't be hearsay. It can't be, I found this on social media. It's got to be something that somebody actually heard or got information directly from a fire official. And now we're working on to expand to Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. All of them use different email terminology, so we have to make sure that our system can handle how they communicate. To mention no speculation,
We corroborate the data with our reporters and with the officials. We all have relationships, I would say, on the unofficial realm of CAL FIRE and the people that are actually doing the work, battalion chiefs and captains, because they use the service. The amount of captains I've talked to that say, we learn about the fire from you while we're headed towards it. Okay, that works for us as well. If it helps you, that works. We'll take that. We work really hard to minimize the use of things that are very fire specific, acronyms and such. We have a number of firefighters that do reporting, and it's really hard to take the firefighter out of the reporting. They want to report numbers and acronyms, and this is designed for humans to read. You don't want to see something that says it's a 1410 ROS. You want to know, oh, the incident commander said this is a slow rate of spread. You know, you need to be able to understand this. So we work really hard on that. Sometimes we're good, sometimes we're not. We're getting better. We're going to add more tooling that will automatically convert acronyms to real words, so you can hear it. We'll prioritize accuracy over speed. So speed is important. We want to make sure we understand stuff. Sometimes we'll get, well, why didn't you report this, this, and this on the fire? If we didn't hear it, or it wasn't dispatched, or no one was talking about it, we're not going to report on it. We can't. That'll commonly happen if things are in city of Santa Rosa, or even out here in the city of Sebastopol for the local fire departments. They call that local response areas. Sometimes we won't get a lot of information. Maybe we'll catch the dispatch and an update at the end. Most of our stuff comes from CAL FIRE driven fires, which are called state responsibility areas, and much less from the cities. We know that mistakes will occur. We're humans, and we have no problem talking to them when they do. You'll see that in our reporting. It's rare, it comes up. As mentioned in the intro, so we came together because we needed to. How many of you use things like social media for information for emergency gathering? Facebook, Twitter, any of those? Couple? They're a nightmare. Facebook sometimes won't show you stuff till 3 days later, like, oh, hey, there was a fire over here. Just the way that their algorithms work. Twitter is wired down with a bunch of people that are not there, that are reporting on stuff that don't understand terrain, and it just wasn't good enough. Official communication in Sonoma County is very, very good, but it wasn't enough. So we wanted to help supplement it. Our goal was not to be Sonoma County centric, it was to be all of California. And we'll show a little case study of how bad it is outside of Sonoma County. But we wanted to be able to live in this area to make that better. So we have 3 different models. We have the, I want to be blissfully unaware until someone knocks on my door that there's fire here. There's a portion of the population, they're happy with that. This quote is from a friend, just telling me when I need to leave. And she lives in Guerneville in fire territory, which blows my mind. But you have options. You have Nixle, you have the National Weather Service red flag warning stuff. That's fine, but you're not my demographic. Then you have the nonsensical people on the right, which is me, which is listening to the stuff 24 hours a day, projecting fire weather and things of that nature. I don't advise it. It's a 24-hour-a-day job. And so we feel most of our consumers and our citizens fall into this area like, I just want a little bit more information. You know, I don't need all of it. I don't need to hear the dispatch. At the same time, I want to know well before some sheriff comes knocking on my door that I need to leave. And that was our sweet spot. And we feel that we're in probably 80% of the people fall into this realm. We call it the Goldilocks. Okay, so we're going to talk about a little bit of a case study. So those that are familiar, the north part of the state has been on fire this summer, lightning driven. The McKinney fire, 4 people have died. It annihilated 3 little towns and moved very fast in Siskiyou County. It was pretty sad to watch and very hard to report on because it was a lot of fires, as lightning complexes are, that come together. Same with the 6 Rivers, which is still going on in Humboldt and Trinity counties. As you can imagine, things get really tricky when you have multi-county events, when you have 2 different counties that use 2 different evac systems and they look at a map and the evacs just stop at a line. Obviously, we have this problem with Nevada and Oregon as well. Different terminology, different way they work. And we're trying to say, well, what can we do to just bring this stuff together? So I'm going to show you what the official communication was from Siskiyou County OES for the McKinney fire. This is what they supplied their people with. This was the official communication. This screen.
Would any of you know what to do with this? Right. Yeah, none of that stuff was clickable. This just came and said, here's where you go to find your information about the McKinney fire. 8 different websites. If you've never seen a QR code before, you may not even know those are 8 different websites. If you get this on your phone, you would need another phone to click on that to be able to get somewhere. And they thought this was appropriate way to get information out. This doesn't happen in Sonoma County. Sam will be the first to tell you that he was right up there to say, I can help you, Siskiyou County, to get information out, and they turned it down. This is what they feel is appropriate. That doesn't work for me at all. This is how we reported on the 6 Rivers complex. And the only reason I don't have the same content from the McKinney is because this deck is fairly new and the McKinney is done. A nice contextual map, fire perimeters. It was a lightning complex, so where you see the different colors, those were actually different fires that they all mixed into one. Satellite heat detection up top, which is live, so you know where it's hot. Evac orders and warnings, that's all official stuff from the counties. We don't make that up. We just repeat what they put out there, and links to things that matter. They use Zone Haven. Yeah, it's a little sketchy for the detail. They use a program called Zone Haven for their evacs. Which is a frustrating program because the county is having the ability to split your zones on the fly. So if you've gone through and I know my zone, it's on the refrigerator, and you wake up and your zone is no longer your zone during a fire, it's not really a great way to manage emergency operations. If there is updates on social media from those groups, like this was an update from the U.S. Forest Service, we'll embed that right into the reporting, videos right from the reporting. We'll add in maps, updates from what we see, updates from CAL FIRE as they come out, which is usually twice a day. So we report pretty heavily, especially on the first 12 hours of a fire, when things are the most dynamic, or when things start to kind of sprout up. So we feel this is far better than QR codes. Where do we go from here? Everything is donated, which is great. We went to Salesforce, very, very large company in San Francisco. We showed them pictures and reminded them of when the sky was orange out here and what view they had out of their building, which perked their attentions up. You know, this is not in my backyard problem in San Francisco, but it is in their backyard. And they've been running all the infrastructure for at least 2 years, so that's nice. All the reporters just work volunteer 24 hours a day, same with our software development. So we're gonna have to raise funds because we have none. So that's an objective for this year going forward. We're going to do more map layers. Like I said, coming in soon will be the evac zones. So from different counties, we'll actually be able to overlay those with the maps, and then you'll be able to see what the context of the fire. More states, more enhanced notifications. I want you to be able to drop pins at grandma's house, niece, nephew, and be able to know when fires are around them. So we're going to do some stuff there. We're going to start looking at non-wildfire reporting, mudslides, floods, things of that nature. And then we're going to continue to foster relationships. We are not loved at the government level of any governments, mainly because government likes to control narratives and things like emergencies. But we're big enough, and the consumers have said we want stuff like this, and we're going to continue to work arm in arm in them. I'm again very lucky with Sonoma County being very well partnered with Linda and the sheriff, and here they have been much more open than other counties. But we're going to continue to work on that. I'm going to continue to do outreach. I will go anywhere at any time to meet with groups like this to talk about it. And I need to get our other reporters around the state doing the same. And we've given officials a direct line into our systems if they need to communicate with us, meaning especially with evac centers and things, which change very dynamically. So they have a direct line into us when they want it. And just a little bonus part here is a peek under the hood. We are software people. We are notoriously lazy. We don't like to go, if we have to go find a piece of information more than once, we're going to automate it. So all of this stuff comes to us automatically. If there's a fire dispatched by CHP or by any department that uses Pulse Point, we'll get notified immediately. I'll get woken up in the middle of the night, which is nice. We have alarming for that. Weather gets fed into our systems daily. We're looking for things like red flags, fire weather watches, offshore wind events, the things that drive fire behavior, all comes through here. As CAL FIRE updates their incidents, we're grabbing that data and notifying ourselves internally. So we have a lot of what we call bots into our system. It's a system similar to Microsoft Teams, which you're using here. And that's it. We are readily accessible. Myself, all of the reporters, any of the names you see on there, are very accessible to talk to. So you just email us and we'll talk back. All right. Okay. Questions?
Have you taken this, your friend that worked for the county, have you taken this to the governor's office of emergency services and presented this as a state option?
Has this been presented to the state? No. And I think Sam will be the first to tell you that he's supportive and a fan, but I don't know if Sam's bosses really are. So you look at it as we have a lot of friends at the layers of people that get stuff done, and not a lot of fans of people that are politicians.
Yes, my wife was part of the county. She, during the fires, she helped run the emergency center, whatever they called it. And she said, Brian, don't go anywhere near those fires. My personality is to be a journalist type of adventurer. And I love to go check out any disaster and take pictures and all that wonderful stuff. This really encourages that.
I don't know about that. We do have members of the team that are wildfire photographers that are in the middle of it. We do mention very clearly in the event you see smoke, like if you want to go take pictures of this thing, which is probably just to cover our own backsides, you need to go dial 911. I would say that's the least important part of the platform is user contribution. It's probably the least used as well. But I hope it doesn't encourage thrill seekers to go looking for fire. That would definitely, that's the first time that's come up, but now I'm going to be paranoid for a while. I'll have to with that.
I'm on your software, and for Sonoma County, are you saying that I should say new incidents only versus all updates?
Yeah, and my recommendation there is that way you'll get a single notification if we dispatch, if Watch TV says there's a fire. And if you don't have all updates, you can look at that comes in. And if you want more information about it, you click on it and there's a little button that says all subscribe to that one. But that's the notification you'll get. So if it's in Petaluma or Cloverdale, you look at it, you don't need to worry about that. If you want all the information all the time for fires, you say all updates. Now we have people that are saying, well, we want to know the notifications for the monitoring incidents because there's a whole demographic of people that want to know information all the time. So we're trying to provide more options there, but that was to make it a little less chatty. And so we actually tested it in Sonoma, Lake Napa for a little over a year before we went statewide. And that was one of the feedbacks is don't make this thing so chatty. And a lot of people, we get some feedback is I don't want to know what's happening in Petaluma if I'm in Cloverdale. Okay, I get that, but you're in the Sonoma County and you should at least be aware that something's going on that, because for it to happen, it's got to be a big smoke column. It's got to be visible. Aircraft are inbound, things of that nature. That's the only reason we're going to post stuff. That's going to be a threat. If any of you have had it and you saw the fire this weekend out at Seaview, right? It's well out in Casadero, right? People had to leave. They had to call out the sheriff's helicopter to tell people to leave. It could have been a big event. Now, we are fortunate that CAL FIRE has said it is far too expensive to clean up fires. Let's go hit them harder first. So we have 2 bombers, 3 helicopters in the county, and 2 on special assignment from Mendocino. We can have a significant Air Force here within 15 minutes of an event, which is different than what it was 3 years ago. They started this last year, and their objective is to keep these under 10 acres, and they're doing an amazing job.
Promise I'll be quick. One thing I got turned on to your app through a fire watch guy on Twitter, California Fire Scan, who seems that lives in New Zealand and tracks our fires overnight, so we know what we're waking up to. Anyway, so that connection was made, and I think that as we're watching that community start to grow, with the right people, I know some thumbs out there. It's really, we don't yet know how much we appreciate that work, so thank you. Second is, how are you, Bud?
So we'll talk about Michael first. So Michael, the CA fire scanner from New Zealand, has been reporting on wildfires in California for 7 years now. And part of when we started to building this, we had the thought of we need to give Michael a better platform than Twitter. When we contacted him, he was like big from day one. So he's a very, very valuable team member. He has an insane setup. He's got 8 phones and 2 laptops, and he tracks stuff all around the state. And our team learned a lot about reporting based off of his work. When it comes to funding, a lot of us pour in money where we can. Our founder CEO, who was on the other side of Sweetwater, is a 40-year-old retiree from Silicon Valley. He's pumped a lot of time and money into this as well. So we've taken about $30,000 of donation money so far. Our users demanded to be able to donate inside the app, which was never the intention. Right? We don't want 99 cents a month from you, but we had plenty that said we want to do that, so we provided that. But our objective is to go find big donors, winery owners, and things of that nature. I was telling I joke, all it's going to take is one big fire in Malibu, and we'll have money for it.
Thank you very much. That is fantastic. Yeah. I didn't bring it up here yet, so we have to get to our drawing. Next time. Okay,
Okay. Not looking. Today's big winner is 3, 4, 7, 1. No.
No.
3, 4, 7, 7.
This is last week. What did we do?
3, 4, 7, 6.
Oh, geez, what's going on?
3, 4, 7, 3.
I think we must be on last week. What happened?
3, 4, 7, 8.
We don't have any fires. What's going on in this club? No winners.
3, 4, 7, 2.
That was the first. It better be a last.
Raise your price.
Here you go. Thank you, Linda. Okay, Scott, you have a joke for today, do you?
I do, I'm ready.
Right.
I have a piece from my pal, Roger Beaton. Okay. I told my doctor I swallowed a bottle of sleeping pills. He told me to have a few drinks and get some rest. This morning, when I put on my underwear, I could see the Fruit of the Loom guys laughing at me. I asked my father if I could go ice skating. He told me to wait until the weather got warmer. Once when I was lost, I saw a policeman and I asked him to help me find my parents. I asked him, do you think we'll ever find them? And he said, no, I don't know. Here, there's a lot of places for them to hide. And the last, my girlfriend called and said, come on over. No one's home. I went over. No one's home.
Thank you. And Gonzalez, again, periodically, I forget to say thank you. Here's your cup for being our speaker. I really appreciate it. That was a terrific, a very informative, and I'm going to get yours with us. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for Happy Trails.